Hello, thank you for joining me. I have an order for 15 gallons of castings. I have harvested most of it already, and it's a bit difficult to harvest this one because of what my intentions are. Usually when I harvest castings, I would put them down for 5 to 6 weeks so that I can allow time for the eggs in it to hatch, and then I would try to harvest whatever hatchlings are in there before I sell the product or before I use the product, whichever the case may be. But this time I have very limited time to get the order done, and so I've been using a more tedious method of harvesting the castings. I am still allowing it to stay out in the sun so that the worms can go down. This has been sifted already, but it is full of hatchlings and worm eggs. Now I'm still trying to get the hatchlings and the eggs, as many of them as I can, out. So I'm going to show you how I do so. Okay, so here I have my container that I put the hatchlings and the eggs in whenever I come across them. And then I'm just lightly scraping off the top so that I can see whatever hatchlings and eggs there may be and take those out. Sometimes you come across eggs that are brown. Those have already hatched, so you wouldn't bother to try to rescue those because they have already hatched. But you want to find the yellow ones, and you want to find the orange color ones.
Oh, Mom, I saw that one.
So this one right there, that orange color one, it means that it is getting ready to hatch. The yellow ones are the younger eggs, and the orange color ones are the ones that are close to being hatched. And so I just scrape off the surface and I take off the section of the surface. As soon as I start to see hatchlings when I scrape the top, then I stop.
Look, there's a brown egg.
What that does is allow time for the hatchlings to keep moving down
Mommy,
away from the light. It allows the hatchlings to move down away from the light, and then whatever is left on the bottom of the container is actually going to stay and go back into the worm bin.
maybe you should check them before, and then to make sure they're hatched.
I know them by the color. For example, let's see if you can see. Where is it? Because it's hot, it crushed as soon as I touch it. If you look at that one, it is yellowish, it's turning orange. This one, however, is brown. That's because it has already hatched, so you wouldn't worry about those. You want to see? It is the eggs. So there's the egg. This one is already hatched.
Found the yellow or orange egg. It's an egg.
And I just keep doing this and allowing the rest of the material to stay out in the sun I have harvested, let's see, 12 gallons so far. So I need to harvest another 3 gallons. Watch your head, baby. So I need to harvest another 3 gallons, and today is Thursday. I need to have this finished by tomorrow because the gentleman is supposed to come and pick up his order on Saturday. This was supposed to be done from Tuesday, but unfortunately we've been having 3 days of rain, and I had the castings outside in the sun. Although I put a tarp over it, water got into the rest of it, so I have to allow it to dry out before I can touch the rest. So I'm just gonna be harvesting what is in here. It's an hatched one. So I'm just gonna harvest what is in here, which is about 2 gallons, and then I'm going to need another gallon after that. So I think I'm going to be sifting out. That's hatched.
Oh man.
So I'm going to be sifting out some more castings and then put it in the sun so that it can dry out a bit.
Wow. Wow.
Of course, I'm not going to be able to get out all the eggs and all the hatchlings, but as much as I can, I want to get out.
Oh no, I didn't. Just press it. It was about
Like I said, I won't be able to get out all of the eggs. So there, I'm starting to see hatchlings. There's one there.
Oh, cool. Hatchling. Hi.
Can you see that little tiny one there? It's a bit difficult to see when they're that tiny.
I can see them.
So what I'm going to be doing then,
Peace.
this bin is so full of mites,
Peace.
little tiny
Aggie.
mites. Yes. So I'm just gonna leave this out in the sun. I'm almost at the bottom.
Bye bye, little
So-
Aggie.
I am going to sift out.
Be careful. Don't drop that.
I'm going to sift out some more.
Aggie.
Castings now so that I can put it on the top of this and then eventually harvest everything by tomorrow. Darling, please do not be throwing any stones. That's dangerous.
Did you just throw stuff?
Yes, it did, and it went right over here. Could have landed in somebody's head
Or in the
or their eyes.
I see a little baby one right there, and right there, and right there.
Okay, so
Little baby bomb though.
I see
And one there, and one there.
hatchlings.
And there, and over there, over there, and over there. Oh man, so much.
I can see hatchlings moving about.
I can see an egg.
So I know it is time to stop harvesting off the top of this.
I see mommy.
Okay, so now I'm just gonna go and harvest the rest,
Eggy.
sift it out, and then put it here and finish the order.
Golden eggy.
Okay, so in these 2 small containers I have the eggs and the hatchlings. that I took out from the material. I think you can see a few of the eggs there. That orange one is ready to be hatched, or at least getting ready to be hatched. Can you see the hatchling moving there? Can you see the amount of them? That's a lot. And this is nothing compared to the balls of them that I took out, because when I reached the bottom of the material that I was sifting out, they were just bundled together in little balls. I was so surprised at the amount that I would have lost if I hadn't decided to do that. So I'm just gonna attempt to throw this out so you can see. It is overly wet in here. I'm a bit surprised. I wonder why. Oh, it's a little bit too wet. I'm gonna have to separate this and dry it out a bit. It's too wet. But there are quite a few big worms in here that came out of it as well. And then the material that I see that one died. It's way too wet. The material that left over after I finished sifted, I also throw that in here. Oh, I'm definitely gonna have to add some newspaper to this to dry them out. Hopefully it's not. I haven't lost too much of them. I don't recall it being wet. Oh, I think I know what happened. I wet it down before I put it on the shelf, but I didn't allow enough time for it to drain outside before I put it back on the shelf. So I'm gonna have to separate this because the container is full, so I'm gonna have to separate this and then add some newspaper to it. But the amount of hatchlings that I got from the sifted castings, if I was to put them all in a heap, I could get a nice handful of them. And I was amazed to see that there were so many of them in it. But that teaches me a lesson that I should always go through my finished castings to make sure that I get out as many of the hatchlings as I can. So I'm just gonna leave this open so it can dry out a bit, and then I will come back and separate it later because I have an appointment shortly. I'm going to put this one back on the shelf. Maybe I should leave the bin open as well so it can dry out a bit. I'm concerned about the birds though. They tend to like to get in here and start to search for the worms, so I have to be careful of that. Maybe I should just prop it up a bit so that they can't get in, but at least the air will get in, so it can get air from this side and it can get air from that side as well, so the birds won't be able to get in there. Okay, so that's it. I thank you for watching and I hope you have yourself a wonderful day.